we have very good wines that have prices from these big 5 bodegas, but we also have boutique wine. And these boutique wine are very special. We also have the biggest food festival in Latin America. It's called Mistura. We call it in Peru, maridaje. So how you mix the right food with the right wine. Many people are going to Peru not only to visit the archaeological sites which are known, but also because of gastronomy. So there is a boom of gastronomy in Peru, and this is amazing because it's the mixture, first of all, of many products coming from different ecological levels in the country, from the coast, from the Sierra, the Andes, and from the Amazon jungle. And so this huge variety of products, among them superfoods like quinoa and kiwicha, and more than 3,000 varieties of native potatoes and corns and ajís, which are chilies, and many different products. And this added to old culinary traditions of the pre-Inca times and the influence of different cuisines, what came with the Spaniards, with an Arab content, the African migration, the French, Italian, Japanese and Chinese migration. So this all makes a wonderful mixture.
Why Peru should be the next wine destination?
Because you will find many amazing things. And the wine destination, because we have many different good quality wines and that you can mix with this fantastic food. And we also have the biggest food festival in Latin America. It's called Mistura. It was created in 2008, and last year it gathered 500,000 people. And you know what's interesting is that it's the result of the work of all people that have to do with food.
Your Excellency, a brief history of Peruvian wine.
When the Spaniards came, they started founding cities since 1532. And among the fruits of Castilla, the products from Spain, was the vine. And by the chronicles, we know that the first wine was produced in Cusco. But then, because of the climate conditions, the expansion of the Spanish grape was fabulous in the desert in the south of Lima, in the Ica Valley, around the Ica and Pisco valleys. We know that by 1550, there was wine produced in many places in Peru, but it was mainly in these regions, southern of Lima, where the production expanded. The chronicles speak of the quality and quantity of Peruvian wine. In last decades, many investments have been done by big wineries, and experts have been brought, and equipment and everything. So we have very good wines to show to the international community, and we are proud of them. There's something very original as well in the history of wine production in Peru. It's a desert. The coast of Lima is a desertic coast. So you would wonder how come in the desert you could grow wine. And it's because the Spaniards benefited from the hydraulic engineering knowledge of the ancient Peruvians. So in the desert they found a net of channels, terraces a little bit farther from the coast. So this old knowledge of the pre-Spaniards, of the old Peruvian population, was very useful to grow vine and make wine in the desert of Peru. In those wineries, which we call bodegas, you don't only find wine, you find pisco as well, which is our national drink, which is a grape distillate, and we are very strong in exports of pisco.
So wine versus pisco?
You know, even though we are very proud of pisco, we have a city and a port called Pisco, And this is a very old Quechua name. So this is a very old tradition we have in Pisco. We have a National Day of Pisco. We have a National Day of Pisco Sours. But we also have wine. We have very good wines that have prices from these big 5 bodegas, but we also have boutique wine. And these boutique wine are very special. The Quebranta grape, which is usually utilized to make pisco. So there is this Quebrada de Huanco, which makes wine from the Quebranta grape. So this is like a special wine, and it's a boutique wine that is very successful. And then there is another wine called Plenilunium de Luna Negra. And this is another interesting story. There is a very well-known gastronomy expert who found an old grape brought by the Spaniards that was forgotten, that was not used to make wine anymore. So he brought it back to production and is making this very special wine.
The first glass of wine in your life?
I don't remember exactly, but it must have been a family party celebrating a christening or something like this in Lima, because I spent my youth and my first years of studies in Peru, so certainly a family gathering celebrating something.
Your favorite wine and food pairing?
It's not red wine, it's white wine. We call it in Peru maridaje, so how you mix the right food with the right wine. So what we'll have no problem at all is white wine with ceviche. Ceviche is what we eat very often. I don't know if you have tried it, but it's a dish done with raw fish marinated in lemon juice, so it goes excellent with white wine. And I go on drinking white wine with all different dishes, but of course, it's true that if you go on with dishes that have red meat, then a very good red wine would be excellent, that's true.
Which are the most important bodegas in Peru and their wines?
The biggest bodegas in Peru are 5. They are Bodega Tacama, which is the oldest of South America. It was founded in 1540, and it's still irrigated by the channel built by Inca Pachacutec in the 15th century. It's in the Ica Valley. They have many different wines, but Blanco de Blancos is among the best Peruvian wines, say the experts. Then they have red wines. Don Manuel is Tacama's maximum wine, say the experts. And then we go to Bodega Santiago Queirolo, founded in 1860. I have, by chance, one of these very good wines. It's the Intipalca número 1. It's the jewel of the bodega. And some experts say the best Peruvian wine. The next bodega is Tabernero. It was created in 1867. It's in Chincha, south of Lima. Climate is desertic, and they have many different wines. Then we go to Bodega Vista Alegre, founded in 1857 in the Ica Valley, again in the desert. There you have Picasso Tempranillo, Picasso Malbec Reserva, and many other wines. And then we go to Bodega Ocucaje. Existed since 1970. It's in Ocucaje Valley in Ica. Different wines, very good as well. These days, 18 months in Romanian barrels. So I wanted to mention this.